What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the X-Transbots Gravestone, their version of Motormaster. So this is the final one in their series of Stunticons. Do get a pretty nice box here. It's got this lightning kind of image, and it's got the same thing on the back without the figure. Here's the top. It says Gravestone MX-18 liter, and on the bottom you got a render. That's really it for the box. You also get an instruction manual, which is kind of hard to follow, but it's okay. And you get a instruction card, or collector's card, which is nice. Here's the front, here's the back. Looks good. That's really it for the packaging. Let's get this guy out here and take a look. And here we have Gravestone out of his packaging, and he looks good. Let's take a quick 360. You got some nice paint details kind of all around. These smokestacks are painted purple. You got these gas tanks are purple. In the back you got some red headlights and then some backup lights here. You do have these wheels which are intended for robot mode, but it acts as like a bumper or maybe extra lights. You have wheels that are painted, that's silver, to kind of make it look like a rim. There's a little bit of detail in here in between for like some suspension, stuff like that. And then on the front you get nice translucent headlights. You got some turn signals here with the little red lights here. You got some lights up here. You got the horns, marker signals, all that. So it looks pretty good. The color choices are interesting. So you've got this purple grille and purple bumper, and then you got the translucent purple for the all the windows. All the windows are translucent purple. You do have some features here in vehicle mode. The accessories don't interact with this, so we're going to take a look at that when we get to robot mode. But the wheels do turn. It's really more for transformation, but you can turn these wheels. The problem is it also goes in and out like this, so you're just constantly messing with it. And then when you roll it around, sometimes it just gets stuck because the wheels aren't like perfectly aligned and stuff like that. But it does look nice when you get it turned, and it looks like he's really actually turning, which is a cool display option. So that's really it. The only other thing you can do is you can put MP10's trailer in. So let's get a look at that. Here he is with the MP10 trailer. It does slot in just like MP10 does, and it does rotate just like MP10. There he is with the Fans Toys Road King, their version of Motormaster. So you can see how those look together. We're not going to go into detail on this. I'm going to do a separate versus video to compare these two. So that's it for that. And here he is with his Stunticon team. So we got all 5 of them. Unfortunately, we don't have the combatant parts yet, so we can't do that today. But we can look at this set together, and here you go. All right, now let's get this guy transformed. It is a little bit of a tricky transformation because there's some bending of plastic, stuff like that. So you just got to be careful, but you can do it. It's just it's a little tricky. So get these panels opened up here and kind of away from their where they attach, and then you got to get this bottom piece here out, and you just got to bend the plastic. There's really no good way, and just fold it away like that. See them on this side, bend that out, fold it away, and honestly that's the best you could do. There's not really much choice there. On top here you're going to want to separate here. Now in order to do this you probably want a spudger to get in here, and then you can separate these pieces. This is pegged into the side of this arm. See them on this side, fold that away, and that's going to release everything. This is the infamous peg everyone's been talking about. We'll talk about that a little bit when we get to robot mode, but I just wanted to show you that's where it is. It's kind of holding the cab together. Okay, now you can separate the legs. Now you've got over-under joint here, and you've got a tab, so you got to kind of push it apart and separate it at the same time. It's a little bit scary, but it works. You can do it. Okay, so we got the legs apart. You can fold these down for now. You can push, I forgot to show you, push these in if they haven't already gone in. They tend to fall in on their own, so even though you pull them up, sometimes they fall down, but these smokestacks have to be pushed down. All right, untab these, and that'll allow you access to the feet. And you're basically going to detach here and fold that down. And you got to detach it from here as well. And that should open up the leg like that. Right. Now that you've done that, you can release this leg. and basically pull it down, slide it down like this, but push this in so that it's all the way down. All right, now you're going to fold this in, fold this in, fold this down, and get this clapped inside his leg. Make sure you have the leg slid all the way up. And then this should go inside his leg. Like that. And now, just tab that in, and he goes right back into the side of his leg like that. Fold this panel down. This foot's going to come around. You're going to rotate the leg. And just make sure you got this panel closed. So that's one leg all done. Actually, you want to rotate it to the front. I had it backwards. All right, so this time we're going to go a little bit faster since we just did it. So open up this leg right here. Make sure you untab it from here. Give yourself a little room. Slide the leg away. Get this foot out of here. Slide that over. All the way in, like that. Fold this up, fold this up, fold this down. Get this leg collapsed, and then make sure it just tabs in properly. Then fold this down over the end. Oh, we did forget this step. And you kind of need to spudger it again in here. It's a little bit hidden, so if you have a tool, just get this heel spur out, fold this until it should click in place, like that. Put this panel down, rotate the leg to the front, and since we forgot this one, let's just do this one. Again, get your tool, fold the heel spur out, hold this, there you go. You got the legs all done. That's the best part of this transformation is the legs. Unfortunately. Alright, so now we're going to get these side panels out. These are the arms. So those can just sit there for now. Just hold on to that for a little bit. Alright. So next you want to pull these panels out from inside. They do have a little folding piece that allows it to fold a little bit easier. So get those out. Okay. And open up this roof part. And that can just sit there for a second. Open up the glass. And this is probably the worst part of the whole transformation. Alright, next what you want to do is get all this kind of out of here so we can work on the inner plate. Again, there is some scraping and stuff like that. That's just the nature of this robot. So fold out these chest panels. This is all die cast, so just be careful not to scratch the paint. Alright, so leave everything like that. Now you can see you've got sort of a cavity here to work with. So you've got to get this whole thing rotated around. And I'll tell you, it's not easy. It's really not fun to do. So you got to get this around like this, and then it hits right here. I don't know if I can get in there to show you. So right here, it hits itself right there. And so you've got to get it around that. And I watched other reviews. I watched 598, who's the designer of this robot. He's got his own channel. He puts out videos occasionally. There is no other way. There's no other way to get this out. That's just the nature of this bot. It's got a clearance issue there. It's just how it is. And I don't understand why they would design it way, but they did. So you got to get this to clear. And there's no other way other than to push the plastic past. It does not feel good. And you just got to be careful and hope for the best. Fold this piece here. And that should come out like that. You can flatten out these pieces for the front. Now you can fold these in, and this is really why the wheels bend, is so you can get it into here for the transformation. It's not really a feature in terms of, playability. It's just they needed to do that for transformation. And I'll be honest with you, those wheels, they're actually kind of irritating because they move when you're trying to roll the figure in vehicle mode. Fold up this chest and you're going to accordion it down. And it is going to tab in here, but it'll tab in a little bit better once we finish the rest of the transformation. So, all right, so now we're going to close up this. Just make sure you close the one with the tab first, and just leave those there for now. Open up this backpack and get this. Actually, sorry, let's get this all squared away. So make sure you have these panels folded out. These are going to fold down and tab in like that. These don't feel great. I'm just be careful with this. Get this panel accordioned up and under here. And if you have it right, it should fit in right there like that. And it does poke out a little bit. And then get this back underneath here. It should just fit in there. Right now we can work on the arms. So just get this chest back down. The arms, you have to fold this out like this. And we got to work on this panel here. So this panel needs a little bit of work. So you want to push this in so that it reveals the little hole there, and that's where the thing's going to slot in. And then you got to fold this upwards and inwards like that. And then you can kind of accordion this up until it meets over here. Open up the chest because that's going to be after this step. And you're going to see there's a tab right here. It's got to clear that tab. And that's what's going to hold that whole part on. Same on this side. Open up that panel. Fold this up. Fold this down. And put this over that tab. Just be careful. It's a very, very flexy tab. It doesn't feel good. Just move the arms out of the way for now. And then you can close this up. And you can see it just made its way around the two edges. So that's kind of holding things together. Okay. Rotate the arms downwards. Be careful. Open up this panel here. Pull the arm down. And I'll give you a little room to work. Straighten out the arm. Straighten out the hand. Open up this panel. If you can't get it, use a spudger. Open up this panel. And you're going to build a box. Basically, that's what we're doing. We're going to build a box for our arm. So get this one down here. Fold this. And then put the hand in and then tap it together. So the tab is on the bottom there. All right. And obviously the screw is going to be on the inside. So just make sure once you're all done, you should have the screws folded to the inside. Okay, now the other side, same thing. Fold the hand down, extend, rotate, open up all these panels. Rotate this. Rotate. Oh, you got to rotate the arm down, hand down first, and then close these two panels around it, and that's what secures everything into place. Make sure you have those screws on the inside. And here we have Gravestone all transformed up. And let's take a quick 360 on him. Fairly nice from the front. You can make your own judgment on the back. From the side. And there he is. One step I forgot is you got to push this forward. It slides on a track, so it lines up with his front there. And you can see there is some things that don't line up perfectly, like this tab here. It's kind of hard to get it tabbed in, but it's okay. And pretty good looking Motormaster. Let's take a look at the G1 cartoon. And I know some of the colors are pretty darn close to what it looked like in the cartoon, and some of the colors are kind of their own choice. There is this little piece here, And you know, it is what it is. They had to have that because in truck mode it would look kind of weird if they had it white there. So that's just part of the transformation. But all in all, pretty close to the G1 cartoon. The face is maybe not as close, but let's take a look at that. So we have the alternate face here. It does come with a regular face. So this is his yelling face. Let's take a look at his regular face. His standard face, that also looks really nice. The colors are just a little off for me in terms of the purple they used, but pretty good, pretty close to the cartoon for me. Now let's take a look at his articulation. His head does rotate all the way around. It's on a ball joint, but you can't really get anything out of it, but you can go up and down here. So no side to side, you just get the up and down and then the rotation. The arm is on a ratchet, goes up to there. You can also get it out on a butterfly up to there. This does not feel good. I feel like that's going to break, but it's okay. You get a sort of single jointed elbow, but it gets a little bit past 90, which is nice. Rotation at the bicep. You do have a rotation at the wrist. You have individually articulated fingers all on a ball jointed knuckle, so you can splay them out if you wanted to. They also have 1, 2, 3 points of articulation on each finger. And I've said it before, I mean, these hands are okay, but my preferred hand is the Fans Toys. The way they do it, it just seems to work for me. You do have a rotation at the waist on a ratchet, and you have an ab crunch. This is supposed to tab in. You can see there's little ridges that are supposed to catch. It doesn't catch. It just opens right up, and it doesn't hold at all. That's how he works. You get a hip skirt here and hip skirt here. Goes all the way up to there. Nice kick all the way back to there. And all the way out to there. You get a rotation at the knee, and it's very slight rotation at the thigh. Not much movement on that, but you have this too, so you can use both. 90-degree bend at the knee. You have an ankle tilt all the way out to here, and an ankle pivot back and forth. There's a panel in here that kind of tends to move around. I don't know, it's a little bit irritating to deal with, but you got to put that panel back, and you can peg this in so he can do a straight stance. But if you want him to go to the side, you got to unpeg this, and then he can rotate. So it does have a nice securing lock or tab there, so that if you wanted to lock him in at a straight stance, you could. So that's the articulation on this guy. Here he is with his accessories, his gun and his sword. Those do fit in his hand, and they peg in just like any other Masterpiece hand. Now, the gun is a little bit loose, but it's fine overall. It does have a nice paint on it. It's metallic purple, and then the sword has a metallic black or silver on it. And those look good. So there he is with the Transform Element TE01 Optimus Prime. So you can see how those scale together. The Gravestone is just a bit taller. And there he is with the MP36 Megatron. Again, very similar size, just a hair taller for Gravestone. And here is the complete Sunicon team, or the Berserkers as they call them. And they really do look good together. Nice color scheme, nice matching aesthetics. Everything looks great. It's a pretty good team. Obviously, this guy is missing his arm. I'm going to talk about that at the end, but this has fallen off for the second time. It's broken. But that's the team. So final thoughts wise on this guy, let's start with the good things. So I really do like the paint and color scheme. That looks really nice. They do have some translucent plastics, stuff like that all around, and those things look good. Also, it's got pretty good articulation. Not amazing, but pretty good, and fairly clean, except for maybe right here. You got some bulkiness and sort of extra kibble, but for the most part, fairly clean. Now, for the negatives, there are a few. So there's some weak hardware used, like this, that actually at this point it doesn't work at all. It just doesn't hold anything. There's also some other weak points that appear like they might break, and they haven't broken yet, but I've also been being very careful. Now, the reason I say that is other figures in this set have broken. So, for example, this guy has broken multiple times in multiple places. His arm is broken. We've got this thing here where it's so tight when you try to rotate it that it was actually breaking here. That was the first break that I had. You also had these pieces here, which I actually eventually just removed. These were the roll bar that's on the vehicle mode. I just basically took them off because they just are so easy to break. A lot of people broke this right here. So that's kind of how this set has gone, right? It's been kind of a really nice figure, and then people are breaking stuff. And then kind of a really nice figure, and then people are breaking stuff. And then kind of a middle of the road figure. So they're sort of all over the place with their quality. And that's kind of how I feel about this set. It's a hit or miss. So do I recommend it? I can't really say. I mean, if you're already in on these 4 guys, you got to get this, right? I mean, you got to complete the set, and you got to be able to make Menasor. So you're sort of all in at that point. You got to get him. If you haven't bought this set, I think I would not recommend buying this. And here's why. We need to wait and see how the trailer and how the rest of the combiner is going to work out. I am not confident, based on what we've seen with these other figures, how that combiner and how the trailer is going to come out. So at this point, if you haven't purchased, you're not in on this set, I'd say wait and hold on. If you are in on these 4 and you're looking to complete, then yeah, definitely get it. It is a cool looking Motormaster, and it is kind of fun. It's just the quality is hit or miss. That's really it for today, guys. I will be doing my reverses video next week, so stay tuned for that. And we'll get into detail on this guy and on the Fans Toys Road King. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.